John Morant, speaking of returning, made his return to the court last night. And take a look. His father and other family members sat courtside wearing these sweatshirts that say redemption. The image on the sweatshirt was Ja along with his uncle and father T. Shannon, what do you make of this?
Nothing. I'm confused. What are they getting redemption from? Ja mentioned that it was, his family's ideal, and I got no problem with, family supporting family.
Yep.
That's what they should do. I just, like I said, Skip, I'm just confused. I just confused, and I hear what he said. There was a lot of negative things being said, but he doesn't mention about anything about the negative things that he did. And that's the problem that I have. I was like, look, I understand we're all going to make mistakes. We're human. But at some point in time, there has to be responsibility and accountability on the individual that made this and not the people that's reporting or talking about this.
Yep.
And it seems to be Ja is obfuscating his responsibility in what he did and placing all the blame on the media for talking about it.
Yep.
Ja, so let me ask you a question. Would the media have ever said anything about you being at Shotgun Willie's with a gun had you not put it on IG Live for the world to see? So that was us. You mad at us for talking about it, but not for what you did. The incidents that happened, now we're going to find out more about the incident. It's sealed right now. But we're going to have some conclusion. And guess what, Ja? I hate to break it to you. Because you play with the Grizzlies, you are a big, big sports figure. We're probably going to talk about it. Yep. There's a 100% chance that whatever comes out, hopefully it's in your favor. We're going to talk about it.
Yep. Well said.
We don't talk about things just to arbitrarily talk about them. So, like I said, Skip, I don't know what the redemption is from. Maybe he's like, you know what? I've gone through some things that I put myself in. The media did not put me in this situation. And so I get an opportunity to have redemption for the things that I've gone through. I went through it. I'm going to come out the other side a better man, a better human being.
Yeah, I like that. All perfectly stated. I'm going to restate. I still like this kid. I root for this kid. I love him as a basketball player. I'm now having to root for him as a basketball player and a human. And I'm still hanging in there. But just when I want to go onward and upward, something else happens that makes me stop and think. And this was my family's idea, Josh said, to wear the hoodies. A lot of members of his family wore the ones that they had made special for this night, for his return, with that one word. Okay, I'm like you, having a hard time translating the single word message that's being sent by the hoodie. What does that mean, redemption? Well, there's one way that I really love it, and there's one way I don't like it. But I love it if you're saying, I need to redeem myself for all that I did wrong. Because that's one way to take this. Like, it's time for me to grow up and become a man and become the father and the leader of a franchise I was born to be.
Agreed.
Because he's got that in him.
Yeah.
And I keep bringing up this point. When you demonstrate to me that you can go from Rookie of the Year to 2 years later, Most Improved Player, that takes humility. That takes looking in the mirror and saying, I got to fix this shot of mine. I got to make it way better. I got to fix my free throws. I got to get in the lab, as you say, in the offseason, and I got to work my little tail off so that next year I'm going to improve so much that they're going to vote me the most improved player. It's hard to do that. Trust me. It shows a backbone. It shows character. It shows guts. It shows high intangibles. That's the kid you want leading your franchise. What these five is, we're not talking about a one-off. Look, Shannon, if whatever, Ja had a little too much to drink and it was a one-shot deal and he was at Shotgun Willie's and he lost his mind, or because it was already gone, and he said, let me have your gun. I'm going to go on IG Live and I'm going to dangle this gun. If you did that and that was a one and only, I'd just say, okay, I don't love it, but I'm going to give you another shot here, right? Like, it's okay. I'm going to let you, I'm going to give you that one. If you were clean before that, but that was the fifth incident in about, let's call it 6 months. And of those 5 incidents, 3 of them involved guns in some way, shape, or form.
And there was an incident, Skip, where he had on social media when some troll, some fan said something they didn't like. And he's like, you welcome to feel how these hollow feel or something to that point.
Okay.
I'm like, bro, come on now, Ja.
Okay, all right.
Somebody could view that as a real threat, and then they call the cops, and then you be in a world of hurt for that.
Got it. 3 involved guns, and 2 others involved either calling or notifying the police.
Yes.
The incident with his mom at the mall, in which the head of security at the mall felt so threatened by Ja and the guys with him that he filed a police report against Ja Morant. And then he went to a volleyball game in which his sister was somehow under fire. I don't know what the controversy was.
Right.
And everybody felt so threatened, they called the cops.
Right.
Okay, that's 5 in 6 months. So redemption from what? If you're trying to suggest to me that you were unjustly accused or punished, wrongly dealt with, well, then I got a big problem with it, because you're showing, it's not even a lack of contrition. You're being brazen again about, you did this to me.
Right.
It's time for my redemption.
But Skip, there's a lot of these alleged incidents happen to be Ja and a gun.
Yeah.
And in the criminal justice system, that's modus operandi.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's your method of operation.
Okay, real quick, the one involved the 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And Ja admitted, I beat him up.
Yeah.
I hit him.
Yeah.
But according to the Washington Post report, Ja went back inside. It was a 2-on-2 game, I think, or not even 1-on-1, but 2-on-2, whatever, outside Ja's house. He goes in the house and gets his gun and puts it in his belt. Okay, so you got that one.
Right.
And then Ja is allegedly in the car with his friends, and they are training the sights of their guns with the red dots on members of the Indiana Pacers as they exit the loading dock to get into their bus, because there had been some fracas during the game, some controversy. Guns.
Dangling.
Okay. Dangling.
So 3
out of 5 guns. Okay. So when you say after the game, that was my family's idea, it's me coming back after some negative things have been said constantly throughout this whole basically year and a half now. Negative things weren't said. They were reacting to what you did. That's what nobody was pre-acting. They were just reacting to what you did.
Right.
5 times.
But I need to go back and look at what the negative, prior to this year, what was the negative things? Because everybody was speaking glowing. Everybody kept saying, Skip, he had this a year and a half ago, Skip. Yeah. Nobody says Ja has an opportunity to be the face of the NBA. You're not becoming no face of no sports league with this kind of behavior.
Okay.
And everybody was saying Ja has a chance to become the face of the NBA.
He does. Still does.
And so, so I'm confused that people were saying you could become the face, but yet they were talking negative about you. There's nothing negative. There's no negative connotation with you becoming the preeminent face of a league. It was your behavior, job, that brought this about. And we didn't know about this until the Washington Post broke the story about you and the 17-year-old this summer. And then there was this one incident after another, culminating with you losing a game in Denver, deciding to go borrowing your homeboy or somebody's gun, putting yourself in harm's way to do what?
Choosing to go live on IG with a gun.
But that was the negativity that the media did that. We set him up, Skip.
Okay. And yet it was the NBA that concluded in its report that he was intoxicated, yet Ja now says, I got 0 problems with alcohol. Okay.
Man, a lot of videos I see him, he got alcohol in his hands, so he's drinking. I ain't saying he got a problem with it.
You don't know. Okay. And then I'm going to say it one last time. I did a big chunk on the top of my podcast about this because I've been through so much personally with it. So I don't want to go deep into it here. But reportedly, he goes to a facility in Florida. And I don't know what happened.
Right.
You brought up Tiger Woods. I looked it up. Tiger Woods went to a facility in Mississippi for 45 days. Okay. He stayed 45 days. It's not the usual because usually you need 3 to 6 months. Okay. But 45 days was a pretty good chunk of time. It's longer than 4 days. It's longer than 4 days. I don't even know if it's 4 days. Shannon, seriously, I don't even know what he did or where he went. Is the counseling ongoing? I hope so. Right. It is. I liked it that he said
it's online. You know, now you get a degree online. So
okay, is it online counseling? I don't know. But he did say last night it could have been worse. I got a second chance. Yes, you did, young man. It could have been way worse.
So is that the redemption he's talking about? He's got a new lease. He's got a second chance on life?
I hope so.
For his NBA career?
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
There's positive and negative redemption. Right. If you're trying to fight back because you were unjustly punished, then we all got a big problem, because now you got no remorse at all, and you learned no lessons. Right. You're going to fight back. And then he referred to himself as the third person. I got to show who Ja is as a person. That always concerns me, because who are you? Or wait, are you Ja or are you? I don't know. Do you have an identity crisis? I don't know. But in the end, it's time to move on. Right. It's time. The spotlight will not go away. It's much harsher and brighter than it ever was, because you brought it upon yourself. Right. Okay? Loved how you handled yourself. Loved you coming off the bench last night. Loved how you eased back into the fray, and you didn't want to disrupt the chemistry of a squad that has won 6 of the last 7 going into last night, now 7 of 8. It's a really, really good basketball team, as it demonstrated without you. With you, it could certainly win the West. Yeah, Skip, I think the normal protocol, what happens is that we see someone starts here and then ends up there, and that's where we come in and say, this might be one of the greatest redemption stories that we've ever seen. That's what we would normally say. The person doesn't say, I'm going to have a redemption. That's not normally their place. No, that's normally people on the outside. That's what we say. Well, I told you yesterday going into the game, wouldn't it be a nice story if he came back full force and he figured himself out and he carries the Grizzlies to the championship? It'd be a great story. Great story. Until I see redemption last night, and now it makes me pause and say, what's going on? Right. Okay. Here we go.
John, the Grizzlies have tonight off, gentlemen, and then tomorrow evening they welcome in the Houston Rockets. Young, scrappy team.
The Rockets again?
Lose, right?
What? Do they get to play them all the way?
Rockets again. Indeed. All right, guys. Coming up next, we are moving back to
Rockets
the NFL.
DeAndre
Hopkins. Is he on his way to join Josh Allen up in Buffalo? Let's discuss in just a moment.